So, what's up, bro?
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Brand new week. Yeah, really, football is back. Internationals are done.
What about?
I don't know. There's a sense that I feel amongst fans in general that international break is really a bore for general fans.
What do you mean?
Like during international breaks, fans, it's almost like that's the time you take to do all your other life shit. Because you're not really invested, yeah, okay, maybe your country will play a friendly or a qualifier or whatever, but it's not really, it seems like we're more vested in the actual tournaments that these international breaks are existing for. And then from there, it's just the leagues, the Champions Leagues, and all of that stuff. So it's quite interesting. I've seen a few podcasts even on YouTube. The first thing the people say is like, yeah, club football is back. Oh my gosh, it's been
Why?
it's been a while. I'm like, what Yeah. And there's a sense of okay. 2 weeks of no football type. It almost feels like that pre-season feeling where it's just it's friendlies, they don't matter. There's no fantasy league. That type.
Why do you think we tend to care more about, or we find more excitement with club football than international football when it's not like the World Cup or?
I think sports in general is like a drug. Right, so I mean, you imagine the guy that has a season ticket. He goes to the stadium when they're playing at home. When they're not playing at home, he probably takes the bus there every week. And nowadays it's like every 3 days. You know what I mean? So it's like a drug. So now when you don't have that, everybody's away, your club's not playing. You can go and watch your team play. If it's Bafana, they'll most likely play in Durban. That type of thing. So it's like a drug, So during preseason or during international break, you get those withdrawal symptoms. Yeah. There'll only be some sort of excitement when there's like a big qualifier game, like maybe a African qualifier game. It's two big countries or Europe or South America, like now it was what's that Luis Suarez country? Uruguay, Brazil,
Oh, what a game.
That upset,
What a game.
Italy, England, you know what I mean? So yeah, you get that type of excitement, but other than that, people just want club football. But I guess it's because that's And now with the betting generation or the betting thing being now a commercial thing, because yes, we used to bet. People used to bet back then, but now it's like a thing.
Like now it's part of the game.
Yeah, now it's part of the So club football, I guess, helps in that sense because that's where the betting guys bet, the bookmakers.
To be fair, you got more games and
there's more games.
That makes sense. Yeah, there's more to look forward to.
And friendlies. You don't really bet on friendlies. Well, I wouldn't bet on friendlies. Why would you bet on friendlies? It's a friendly. It could go either way.
Yeah, because you can bet your country, but then you play like your third team.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's interesting to see. But yeah, it's better the whole season as well.
How do you feel about that? Considering everybody's pretty much saying it's between two people and...
They're saying it's between who and who?
I hear most people saying Haaland and...
Messi and Haaland. So Julian Alvarez is not getting a shout.
Apparently.
Julian Alvarez should have gotten man of the match yesterday.
Oh yeah, he should have.
It was given to Erling Haaland. All Erling Haaland did yesterday was take 2-3 touches and take a shot and score. That's all he did the whole game. Julian Alvarez was industrious. He was creating, you know. He scored. So yeah, maybe there's a narrative there.
I don't know. Maybe.
Because he plays in the Premier League, so it must be a player from the Premier League. If it can't be an English player.
English player that could have won is not there anymore.
Yeah, it's... no, now there's this thing. Hey Jude. Like, it's a thing now. Hey Jude, bro. Like, everybody. Is Jude the next Zinedine Zidane? Is Jude the next greatest thing? Is Jude the best player in the world? Look, he's taking it and freaking soared with it, right?
I'm not gonna lie, he's one player.
But my man, he's 20, my man. Oh, how old is he? He's 20. Why are we comparing him to the great Zizou?
Well, it's the same thing of...
It's only his first, not even his first season, his first 10 games. He hasn't even gone halfway through the first season. No, Zizou this, Zizou that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But I like the fact that he looks like he's got a
good head on his shoulder.
A good head on his shoulders. Yeah. I mean, but Benny McCarthy will tell you about Spain. He'll tell you... I remember there was a story that he told... I think it was the Marawa show a few years ago, where he was like, he was in between Tottenham and Celta Vigo. Right?
Okay.
So now Tottenham is saying, hey, Tottenham, you know, big club, you're gonna be, you know, one of the things here. The Celta Vigo agents or club representatives, all they did, they had a meeting at a cafe or restaurant like opposite the beach. And all they said to him was like, hey, Benny, my man, it's summer. Look at the beautiful things, beautiful weather, the beach. You know, you're going to go to Tottenham, England, it's raining every day. You're indoors, it's cold. Look at this, eh? Look at all the mamacitas, eh? Yeah. The football, these guys are passionate, you know. And that's literally what they sold him on. They sold him on the culture of the city or where the club. So yeah, it's interesting. But anyway, I digress. Hey, Jude.
Well, Jude is, I think he's, so far anyway, he's proven, or he is currently proving that he definitely has the knack for big match temperament, I think. Do
you think Madrid changing the system for him to play? You know what Ancelotti's doing? Ancelotti's doing what he was doing at Milan. And I hate him for this shit.
Okay.
He's playing two systems now at, well, what I think is two systems at Madrid. He's playing a 4-3-1-2 or a 4-1-2-1-2. This is exactly the very two systems that won us the Champions Leagues that we won. Okay. At Milan, right? Yeah. So he's got Tchouaméni, Modric, Camavinga, right? Okay. Then he's got Bellingham in front of them. Yeah. Then he's got either Rodrigo and
Vinicius.
No, the tall
Joselu.
The Hernan Crespo of Madrid, the tall Joselu who will whip it in, Manega. He will header it. Whether it goes in or not, hey, that's another story for another day. Yeah. But he will get to the header, right? And then you've got either Rodrigo or Vinicius. Now, Rodrigo doesn't like to play this false nine thing. Vinicius is taken well to it because he's coming from wide in, right? So that's the one. And then the 4-1-2-1-2, he would have that diamond. The 4 at the back, Camavinga as a 6, Modric, Tchouaméni or Valverde or Cruz. But that 10 position is Hey Jude. And then the front position is Joselu.
Because a lot of people even say like Jude is low-key like a center forward now.
No, the reason he scored 9 out of 8, 9 goals in 8 games or whatever it is because he's playing that 10 role. Now, he's a very energetic midfielder. He's the type that for me, he's a box to box. He's a mini Yaya to me, right? He can run that midfield because he's got the energy, he's got the technique, he's got the engine, he's got the gies, you know what I mean? But now, at Madrid, he finds himself, everybody's marking for him. And he's like, I'm free. That's why he's in the box most of the time, you know? And even in the 10 position, his industriousness you can still see because he's still running, he's everywhere. Like, he's that player that has literally no position. Because you've got your 3 midfielders, you've got your 2 attackers, and you've got this maverick here, you know, who just make sure the game goes how it needs to go. You know what I mean? And because now he is a 6 turned into a 10, you gain the best of both worlds. So, you know what I mean? Is that not how good Zidane was, though? Yeah, but Zidane was not marking, my man. No, but but Zidane had the ability, and he did it. Zidane's first touch. Let's forget what Zidane did. Yeah. Let's talk about his first touch. Yeah. My man, please, eh? There's levels, ne? There's levels, you know what I mean? There's levels. Look, Riyad Mahrez is a very close. But because he's a winger, you could his touch, the way he kills the ball is next to nothing, that guy. Like, he's one of the best killers of the ball. Rodri can pass him what's his name? The Spanish Brazilian. Liverpool, number 6. Thiago can pass him long range. My man, he will kill that ball, Riyad Mahrez. But nobody kills a ball like Zizou. Nah, nobody kills a ball like Zizou. Fair. Yeah, so I don't know if mainstream media or English punditry is trying to push Jude to push into that 3rd spot, because nobody's talking about Julian Alvarez for this Ballon d'Or. It's either Messi or... Even though Alvarez has been instrumental since we've seen. Since he moved from River Plate, my man. Yeah. He's been, whether on the bench, starting, it doesn't matter. This guy has been, you know what I'm saying? World Cup, you know what I mean? So for me, it's a close second between him and Messi. Okay, so for you? Yeah, it's a close second between him and Messi because, yes, Haaland scored 51 goals, great, wonderful season. Who wouldn't score 51 goals with the amount of chances you create in Man City? Who wouldn't score 51 goals? I can name a few people. I can name a few people. And yes, granted, some of the goals were like... tap-ins. No, okay, the tap-ins, it's what I'm talking about. That yes, he scored 51, but I mean, if you're going to create 10 chances in the first half, you're bound to score at least 10%, which is 1. So, for example, that season, I'm going to compare. Yeah. When Lewandowski scored 52 in one season, and he didn't win Ballon d'Or. Yeah. He won the UEFA... He won the FIFA best. But again, for me, the Ballon d'Or is a French thing, guys. Yes, now there's captains and national team coaches or whatever that vote for this stuff for it. But at the end of the day, it's a French thing. The reason a lot of people will say Messi won it, the very first season it was at PSG, is because it was created by L'Equipe, which is a French newspaper, innit? And so they could put on the Eiffel Tower PSG's colors. Hey, we are the shit. You know, so football conspiracy theorists say that. But well, I mean, you just said that. No, but that's what I hear, bro. Like, football fans talk, bro. The Bryce stand is hot with the football conversation. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's why we always encourage people to engage with us here, so that we can dissect all these things. But yeah, I think it's a close second between Messi and Alvarez, in my opinion. Okay. If I were to choose, I would choose Alvarez because I think he's different. He's different, and he's always under the radar. As I was saying, in my view, he should have won man of the match yesterday versus Brighton, but Erling Haaland won it because he scored. But guys, How are we doing this thing? You know what I mean? So, yeah. What do you think?
Ballon d'Or. I think if we're talking purely statistics, accolades, Messi won the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Alvarez won the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
And the Premier League.
And Premier League.
And the FA Cup.
And the FA Cup. And the Copa.
And the Copa America.
And both were very instrumental in those. Okay, well, he was instrumental. Messi was instrumental, but he didn't win the Ligue 1.
And it's like Haaland, 51 goals. A couple years ago, Lewandowski, 52 goals. He didn't win the Ballon.
But they say that he scored in every goal in the World Cup in the knockout stage.
Messi.
Which means that those goals were the pivotal goals. Similar to how he won the player of the tournament in
the Copa America.
The World Cup where he lost in the final against Germany.
2014, yeah.
They gave him man of the tournament because he scored the most important goals towards the final.
Okay, so
but those things are subjective, right?
So what metric?
That's exactly it. The metric is that people vote.
Who?
And the country captains, and country coaches, and I think journalists. I stand to be corrected. The day we have a fact checker here, they will fact check us. But yeah, that's what it is. So I think for me, it's up for debate.
Listen.
And why would FIFA have a best FIFA and then there's a Ballon d'Or? Why are there now two separate awards?
100%. I think
surely this Footballer of the Year award should be a FIFA, UEFA, CAF, CONMEBOL, Asia, Arabia Confederations endorsed award, because the Footballer of the Year or the best footballer in the world for that year is across the board.
Because football is a global sport.
So now we are confining it because we are told that the Champions League is the highest, the Premier League, the Bundesliga. If you're not playing there, it doesn't, So what about the guys that win the Copa Libertadores? Hey, what about the guys that win the Asian Champions League? What about the guys that win the African Champions League? Then they'll say, okay, are they winning the African Champions League with the African Cup of Nations with their countries? Are they progressing in the World Cup with their countries? So the metrics is really, in my view, it's a little bit warped, because now there is a certain view that European football is the elite football. It's just the best. So, you know what I mean.
So for example, I'm sure you know this. George Weah, of course, won the Ballon d'Or in 1995.
Yeah.
He was the first African.
Yeah, the first and only.
I argue that question.
Mm-hmm.
Because Eusébio of Portugal, born Mozambican,
of course,
won it in 1965. It wasn't called the Ballon d'Or back then. But he won the best player in the world, basically, in 1960.
It was like the European Cup and the UEFA Champions League. Yeah. Like Nottingham Forest has 2 European Cups. Yeah. But amongst fans, when you say to Chelsea fans, hey man, Nottingham Forest has more Champions Leagues than you, they're like, no, they have more European Cups. We have more Champions Leagues. So like, again, the naming conventions
changed over time.
But fundamentally, it's the same tournament, or it's the same trophy. But they could argue that Eusébio was Portuguese. He wasn't African. True. He was Mozambican born, but he played for Portugal. So therefore,
but because in context, in the 60s, Mozambique were not independent.
Yeah, so by virtue of him playing for Portugal,
He's no longer African.
he's no longer African.
I understand.
Yeah, it's like the very same George Weah with his son. I remember people were having a whole hoo-ha about how he's a Liberian president and yet his son is playing for the United States. You know what I mean? And yeah, identity is a thing, right? I mean, Mario Balotelli, Zinedine Zidane,
Bro, that's
Vieira, Desailly. I mean, you can go through the entire all the generations of the French team. It's Africa, all, you know what I mean? Hey, yeah, it's a thing. Now there's a thing with us South Africans that should we be adopting foreign players as who have become citizens as Bafana players? And for some reason, there seems to be a huge pushback with that, right? So from a footballing point of view, the pushback is that we've got enough players. Well, why are you bringing? We've got enough players. We've got enough talent here, right? We are a so-called football country, right? But then you bring in foreign players. They live here and play here and work here for a long time. They become citizens, and then a question says, "Hey, Gaston Sirino, why doesn't he get chosen for Bafana Bafana?" I would like to know what the fans on the ground feel about that. You know, mainstream media is mainstream media, man. Mainstream media can push an agenda, because I know Danny Jordan was saying things like that. No, why don't we be like other countries? Why don't we also adopt, Robert Lewandowski's what? He's Polish. Not Lewandowski. What's it? Podolski. He's Polish. He played for Germany. Man. Now it's even worse. Look at England. Look at France. Look at Italy. The amount of African players there. You know what I mean? So it's even worse now. So this thing that a SAFA president puts out there, and there's a little bit of a pushback. I wonder, do you think there's going to be a point where we see a foreign player, a naturalized South African, play for Bafana Bafana?
Yes.
How?
I think that is the inevitability because of how the world is now. There are many reasons why somebody will become naturalized. I think in South African context, because we have issues around like migration, home affairs, people jumping the border type of issue, we associate that if you're here, you're most likely from that stock. Whereas in Europe, refugee or not, student or not, you just live there because people move around. You live there, and then you're
good at a certain sport,
and your parents relocated because your dad got a job or your mother got a job, or I think eventually we'll have to accept as a country that we just have too many people who whether it's there,
and there are obviously a lot of them that are born here.
Yeah, like for example.
But it's not for me. It's not a country thing. I think it's more, the staunch football fan.
No, it's a
because it's a cultural. It's more a cultural thing. Why would we play somebody who comes from somewhere else when we have kids playing football? And that's the thing I think I was talking about in the previous episode, that we in every township there's football. Everywhere there's football. You know what I mean? And so that perception gives us the notion that we are a football country, and that's why we wonder why.
Well, you see, so I think it's that perception versus reality.
Yeah, and it's what Tato said as well, that because we won a major tournament, now we have this expectation, and it's really a flawed expectation because maybe that was a once off.
True. And for example, England flaunt, and they even have a...
They talk about 66. I mean, so Bobby Charlton just passed away. You can best your bottom dollar for the next week. 66 World Cup triumph is gonna be on your screens on all the English and British sports. You know what I mean?
Social media everywhere, of course, and they take pride in homegrown talent, like every European country, to be honest. And the way European countries, for example, like France, because they're the easy one to give example. Even if you were born in Senegal, in Tunisia, in Algeria, like Zidane, Senegal, like Desailly, for example.
Desailly is Ghanaian. Vieira, I think, is Senegal.
Vieira Senegalese, right? All these great football players, Thierry Henry, we can name them.
Yeah.
Some of the best we've ever seen. Trezeguet, there's a list. Those guys were treated as French. So they went through the system as French. They were put into the French team as
What
French.
about a guy like Yunus Musa? Right? Yunus Musa, he plays for the United States. He was, I think, born I think he was born in New York, right? But his parents are from England. Now, he played for the development, or not development, the under the age groups, of England. And when it was time for him to break into the English squad, he wasn't getting a look in. And somebody must have whispered in his ear, "Hey, yo, you were born in Brooklyn. You were born in New York." You know what I mean? And you're pretty damn good. So if you're not gonna cut it here, you're gonna go. Let's go get a chance there. Damari Gray couldn't get a look in England. Hey, yo, Jamaican man, come through. Now they're trying to qualify for World Cups, and they're playing in the Gold Cup and all these other things.
So my point to that is, like you just said, this is how the world is.
But are we going to accept that as South Africans? Because remember, South Africans, we have a chip on our shoulder about our football for some reason. We have this thing that we are the shit. Yet we haven't won a Cup of Nations since '96. Well, it's almost that English type of mentality where they think they're the shit, but they haven't won the World Cup or since '66. They haven't won a European Cup since Jimmy Crack Dawn. I don't even know when that was. You know what I mean? So we have a similar chip on our shoulder, just because, again, like the English, our league is the best league in Africa. If our league was the best league in Africa, surely we should have more teams winning the Champions League, or the African Champions League. Surely we should have more teams in the African Super League, or they term it now the African Football League.
Surely we should have more players playing in Europe.
Surely we should have more players playing in Europe, if it is the benchmark. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's. I think South African fans are gonna find it very hard to accept.
Well, it's either we accept it, and I might be sounding a very kind of cutthroat here, but really, like,
I mean, a classic example is Gaston Serino, bro. I think there were murmurs or rumors that, hey, this guy, why doesn't this guy play for Bafana Bafana? You know what I mean? And could it be that maybe someone at the top was like, hey, what's going on here? They ain't gonna fly. Hey, yo, Rulani, put this on the bench. Don't let him play at all. Don't let him go to Al Ahly. Keep him here. Don't let him play so that people don't think of him as a Bafana prospect, because we don't want that. Okay, I'm just spitballing here, but you know what I mean.
Let's say that scenario is true, because you're just spitballing. Then I want, if that is the case, then South African football fans, us included, must accept that we'll never win anything. Simple as that.
So with biologically, landly, physically, nationally, as South Africans, we can never win anything.
If we not that we can.
Is it because we're not good enough, or is it because we are enclosed in an environment that does not allow us to thrive and flourish and actually win something?
And how many footballers do we know are so good, objectively, like they're just good they've got that talent, but they will never get a look in. I mean, I remember when we had Benson Mhlongo and Shokwe Mashaba on the guest list.
Yeah.
And you guys were talking about, you know, the selection process and SAFA and, you know, with futsal and why isn't futsal being pushed and all that kind of stuff. The infrastructure, the system doesn't promote local brilliance. It doesn't. Because and I say this because if you look at any of the big other African countries, like Nigeria, like Ivory Coast, like Ghana, for example, like Cameroon, they've produced some of the best players we've ever watched play football. Eto, we can name them. Eto, Didier, Yaya, Abidi Bele.
I can put it to you in this way. Look at the Springboks. There's no naturalized somebody from Fiji or Samoa like the rest of the world are doing. England has got half freaking Samoan and Fijian people. Ireland was playing with Australian, Samoan people and Aborigines and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, the Scotland team, they've got some of the players that couldn't cut the grade here in South Africa with a Curry Cup or Super Rugby to be able to make it into the Springboks, right? We produce the best rugby players in the world, right? Yet we're a football country, right? You just said now we don't provide the tools for local for local talent in football. Rugby does that
perfectly, clearly.
Rugby has school sports. Yeah. Rugby has a development structure that is untainted by politics, right?
Only the best play, as far as fans are concerned, because the results speak for itself. We've won 3 World Cups. We're in the final now.
You understand? We are literally producing the cream of the crop every 4 years, right? Because, I mean, rugby is not like, it's not like the football seasons where you play 10 months every week, right? Rugby is about test matches and World Cup. That's it, right? So every 4 years we produce this cream of the crop, and this cream of the crop like overlaps. Continuity is smooth like a well-oiled machine. In rugby,
yeah,
we have more kids playing football in this country than playing rugby. Obviously, I stand to be corrected, but I agree we are a football country, right? But rugby wins more World Cups, right? Rugby wins more World Cups. So, what is the gap? Because in the school that I went, in the high school I went to, there was no rugby.
The school I went to, there was no football.
You feel me? Right? But now, the schools that all these kids go to now have everything. So you are spoiled for choice. Right? And yet, rugby is the one that thrives. Cricket is trying. Sharp. That Baker's whole development thing, it was. I mean, when I was a kid, my man, we had the Chappies Little League. Okay. Chappies Little League, we played a league every week, my man. Kids, 7, 8, 9. Chappies Little League, right? I'm getting goosebumps talking about it because, like, it's like Ajax Amsterdam. They have Sunday leagues, right? Every week, every Sunday. Yeah. They tell them, hey, bring your kids, right? Then they don't coach the kids. They don't, hey, play matches. The people who are refereeing and who are managing that entire thing.
Or scouts and, yeah.
Right? They pull it, right? They pull it. One day, a coach will go to a parent, hey, next week, bring your kid on Saturday.
He seems to be enjoying himself. Bring him back next week, yeah.
You know? And then Saturday, it's a little bit more competitive. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? We used to play Champions Little League. My man, they never coached us. Hey, go kick a ball. It's like these 5-year-olds that we watch on YouTube. They're dribbling the ball. All these coaches do is throw the ball on the floor. You are wearing a blue bib. Your teammates are everybody with a blue bib. You are wearing a yellow bib. Your teammates are everybody with a blue bib. You score there. You score there. Here's the ball. That's it. Right? So that you saying we are not providing local talent the infrastructure or the tools to thrive, for me stems from there. You know what I mean?
So going off your point, like I think we spoke about this, I think episode 4 or 5, where we mentioned in the UK, for example, they've got those football cages.
Oh yeah, everywhere. Yeah.
In a country that prioritizes sport, for example, the country that think the United States of America. I mean, American football, basketball,
baseball.
I mean, when we watch Olympics or athletics, when there's no American, you're shocked. There's always an American in every, almost, if not every single event, male or female, Paralympic, it doesn't matter. Without fail. Because they prioritize the importance of sports. So the choice of the individual, whether they want to play or not, is on them.
Yes.
But the infrastructure to get to the highest level in that particular sport, whether it's Olympics, whether it's World Cups, whether it's whatever the case is prioritized. China. I mean, like literally Olympics. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Why are we not prioritizing our sports? I saw another podcast the other day that was saying, the only way our country, this guy was saying, the only way our country can authentically and really unite is only during sports. Yeah. But the rest of our life as a country, there's no way we'll ever be united. You know what I mean? I
mean, Mandela said sports unite people.
Yeah. So now, knowing that we are a sports country, we've got 3 major sports, right? Football, cricket, rugby.
We should have way more, by the way.
Right? We've got athletics, which encompasses a whole range of other sports.
Long jump, high jump, long distance, yeah.
But the sport with the biggest volume of participants is the one that's struggling the most.
Yes, because the bodies that are responsible for maintaining, growing, and encouraging the growth of that particular sport.
Maybe we should bring a rugby guy here.
I think we should.
Ask him how they got that right to separate, because politics has always been trying to infiltrate into rugby, right? Yeah. In cases here and there, they have. The same with cricket. But in football, it seems like this administration problem is the core block for us to give the tools to this local talent.
I think so. Because let's call a spade a spade.
Or can we just say, you know what? These guys are just talking smack. We are a rugby country. That's it. We produce great rugby teams. We win the World Cup every other year. Our teams win the Super Leagues and United Rugby Championships all the time. And Sevens rugby. We are a rugby country. You know what I mean? Is that maybe could that be a fair point to say that? Because I mean, the proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean? I mean, the closest we've gotten to the closest we've gotten to a knockout stage in a World Cup is our females in 2020.
This year.
3.
This year, yeah. Round of 16, yeah.
The round of 16, and that was their greatest achievement.
And they played well, by the way.
And we claim to be a football country.
Okay, so the east example is England. England is not a football country.
Oh no, they claim it, my man. They claim it.
Yeah, but they're not a football country.
Yes. They've got the richest league in the world. They've got probably one of the best run women leagues in the world.
They are a better cricket nation than football.
Yeah.
But football is their moneymaker, for sure.
So are we missing the point with football in that?
My assumption.
We are missing the commercial point here in that. If
We're missing the whole point.
we invested more in football and the talent of football,
100%.
the commercialization of the sport, because can you imagine?
Is insane. For example, hence why America lets a British man create a football club and buy a football club into Miami. David Beckham. He's British. They know he understands football because England have positioned themselves as the best league of football in the world, and America is not a football country either.
No, they're not.
But
And yet they get to quarterfinals of World Cups.
bro, they're not a footballing country. Those guys play basketball, they play American football, and they're good at it.
And they play against nobody else except themselves.
They play against themselves, and then when the basketball World Cup happens, then they play against the rest of the world. But that happens every couple of years. So imagine this: a country that spend millions of dollars in the Super Bowl, that's only in their country. It only happens there. American football is American football only, but they understand that football is a sport. Forget about South Africa. Football is a sport across the world. Let's make a football league. They struggle. They tried to bring it. Ballon went. Imagine.
Yeah, MLS. Yeah, Kaiser went. Jomo went.
Pelé went to America to play football because they had this. I think, anyway, my opinion.
Even Kalamazoo, the late great Kalamazoo. Yeah.
In my opinion, he should have been a European superstar. He deserved it completely, sure.
Yeah. That guy. Yeah, no. The way the elders talk about that guy. Yeah.
He deserved to be a legend.
He should have a statue somewhere. He should have a statue in front of FNB.
100%. Kalamazoo change the game.
Maybe change the name of the stadium and call it the Kalamazoo Stadium.
Hey.
Am I messing around with FNB? Hey? How about Soccer City, the Kalamazoo Stadium? Hey?
That would be beautiful. That would be beautiful. It would be. But you see, my argument is not my
and say his full name, because that's how. We're digressing a lot here, but that's how you even. Pep was saying it now when Sir Bobby Charlton passed away. Is like one of the things he loved about England is that they adore their legends, and that's another big thing here in South Africa. We don't adore our legends, bro. We don't adore our legends at all. Who has a statue here? Football statue. All these football stadiums.
There's only one legend.
All these football stadiums. Why can't our main football look? England has Wembley. The English national men's team, the English women's team, when they play their matches, friendly or not, they play at Wembley.
Yeah, it's their
That's their stadium. It's the national team stadium.
Yeah.
In South Africa, we can play wherever because now we are chasing crowd, right? People will say, no, Bafana always play in Jozi. But we need to culture, right? We need to create a culture, right? And from this culture, a winning culture should be able to come about. Because now we are playing at Soccer City, Kalamazoo Stadium. It has history, it has heritage. His statue is there. The Kaisers and Jomos of this world, maybe you have little mini statues there. You know what I mean? Like, make it a thing.
But for example, in Old Trafford, they've got the Sir Alex Ferguson stand, they've got...
The stands, name them after our legends, right? Name them after our legends. The stadiums that we've got, Lucas Masterpieces Muripe Stadium. Why don't we name those suits that these people are always selling as suits for 350 for your company? Tell us the Kalamazoo suit. You understand? And then when we go in that suit, have some digital content about who Kalamazoo was, about who Kaiser was, about who this guy was, about who Ace Ntoleng was, who Teenage Dada was, because It's all good and well to have a documentary on DSTV called A Pulse of the Nation, and wow, great production, beautiful, wonderful. It goes in the archives. Where is it at our stadiums? You know what I mean? I saw an English kid being interviewed about the passing of Sir Bobby Charlton. That guy's death was not even 4 hours announced. This kid was like, my dad showed me the clips of Sir Bobby Charlton. Wow.
I know everything about him now.
You understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
If you can go to a kid now and ask him about Isintoleng, ask him about chili-laden, ask him about even a Jomo Sono who is still alive. You understand? Ask him about the Kizamdo who is still alive. You know what I mean? Where in our stadiums, where in the culture of our clubs, where are these things? Orlando Stadium, a whole, what was that elder's name? Ubaba Magebu. When they say Eska Magebu, that guy that fought for the land in Soweto. Again, we saw that in the documentary. But where's his statue at Orlando Stadium? That piece of land is sacred. You understand what I'm saying? Where is that guy's statue at Orlando Stadium? You know what I mean? So maybe we are not a football country, because culturally, yes, there's football in the townships, but that's it. But when we had a World Cup in 2010, right? What did the people of the world come to see here? Another McDonald's, Sentin City, Michelangelo, the Michelangelo Towers,
Kruger Park,
the Big Five. Where's our football culture? You know what I mean? The Apartheid Museum. It's a World Cup, but we here you see the Apartheid Museum. It's a football World Cup. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with all these tourist attractions, but I'm saying it's a World Cup. We must show them our football culture. You feel me? When they walk to FNB, there must be a huge statue of this great footballer who played with Pelé. Or you understand what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. And then there's this thing that we as football fans, I have this thing where football, when I compare ourselves as a football country with other football countries at World Cup, at AFCON, the fans will be like, no, but we can't compare ourselves with those guys. Yeah, those guys, they are elite. What? It's like when France beat us. Well, how much did they beat us? 5-0. And then we go and take selfies with Pogba and Mbappe. These dudes beat us, bro. They beat us. 5-0. They embarrassed us. And then we still go and take selfies with them. What do you mean, dog? What do you mean? I don't get it, man. So you were sitting on the bench. Rajua, Mbappe scored 1-0, 2-0. You are sitting on the bench with your phone. You can't wait for the game to end so that you can go and take a selfie with this guy. You are not saying, I'm playing against Mbappe, I'm playing against Pogba. I must show who I am as a footballer as well. Can't just be in awe of this guy. Yes, he's great, but I'm also great. I come from a country where it's also a pride for me to wear this jersey. You feel me? These guys, I mean, hence begs the question: are we really football country? Are we just doing this? It's for the look. It's for the we just do it. I played against Pogba. Yeah, you see, here's my photo. Yeah, but you lost 5-0. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't get it. So maybe we're not a football country. Maybe I don't know. And then I don't know, man. It's weird. But yeah, we've digressed quite a bit.
I think this can be Ria's hot take, definitely.
You think it can be a hot take?
Oh no, because
Hey man, I ain't even started though.
Because you said a lot.
I ain't even started. VAR versus TMO, right?
Oh, rugby, yeah. I remember you did say you wanted to talk about it.
Now, I'm not saying we must do what rugby does. I agree, you guys, whoever you are, the leaders of football, said we must have technology in football, right? Sure. the English Premier League, because they are holier than thou, they feel they want to have their own VAR. The rest of the European leagues have their own VAR, which includes a semi-automatic offside technology. Now, this technology, we've all seen it at European competitions, Champions League. It's a fucking awesome technology. There's no way you are not offside. And there's no way you are offside if that line is, if that semi-automatic. Now, in England, they still want to draw the green and purple lines and all of that stuff. And they refuse to take that semi-automated offside. Now, Liverpool lost the game. That could be a crucial 3 points at the end of the season. That could be them winning the league or not. Because a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing and weren't really concentrating messed around with the technology. But when you look at the TMO, my brother, the TMO, like, there's no way you can't get it wrong. So my thing is, they've introduced this thing of having more injury time at the end of games. My thing is, when there's VAR, why don't you just stop the time, go through the incident thoroughly, make sure it's offside, make sure it's a red card. Then once you are sure, make the decision, then the time starts. Then you still play a full 90 minutes. Nobody is cheated by either human error or technology or both, or negligence. And we move, and everybody's happy. Those who lost will lose. They won't complain about the referees or the VAR. Those who won will win legitimately. You know what I mean? So why can't we just all get along? It's either we use the English Premier League use the European one, or they say, hey, rugby, please, let's do TMO. TMO works probably 100% better than what VAR works, because they literally are very diligent in the incidents. Yes, rugby is technical and there's a whole bunch of things and rules and whatnot, but wouldn't it make it even easier now when we take that concept? You understand? Because the guys that are in the TMO are not necessarily referees. They are TMO officials. They are not one day in the TMO office and then the next match they are out on the field. Whereas VAR, it's in the, today we are in the VAR room. Next week he's refereeing on the pitch. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Maybe they must do something. And the last point about VAR is the PSL. Who sponsors the PSL right now?
Is it not DSTV?
It is a broadcaster. Yeah. They were talking about how VAR, we don't have enough cameras, blah, technology, the money. Now we have a broadcaster sponsoring the PSL. Surely we can galvanize. You know how the Vodacom challenge, for example, it was just those two, and then it went on, and then they started to add another team, then they started to add another team, and it became like, I think it was 2 teams,
South African, 2 teams Europeans.
Yeah.
Tottenham and Man United.
Yeah, yes. It first started with the African teams first, and then it did the.
Nearly one team playing against 2 South African sides.
Yes.
Then they roped in.
So with the culling one literally.
It was before the MTN. I can't remember the culling one.
Uh-huh.
It used to be before the MTN.
Yes.
8.
Yes.
MTN 8 was Bob Save again, and then Super 8 again. Yeah, so we get top 8,
yes.
The first tournament. So there's 3 cups. There's the MTN one, there's the Telkom one,
right.
Then there's Netbank, then there's the PSL. So in one season you've got a chance to do a quadruple.
Yes. So this culling knockout, it replaces Telkom.
Yes, it comes in more Telkom because
Because
Okay.
the Nedbank is like the FA Cup, ne?
Yeah, Nedbank
Because
is
it
like
involves-
it's the equivalent of the FA Cup.
Cup.
It involves let's go fast.
And okay.
So so Pele, nearly team they two. Then you used to vote for these two teams. This idea kya is a spectacular.
Yeah, spectacular, yes.
You understand?
Yes.
It's a similar concept.
Yes.
But now spectacular no vote la the team that must be
There
involved.
must be, yeah, the 4
I
teams
get-
that must be.
So black label la ga e tla yona. Ya etsang. Ya etsa idea le ya galo pola pele no na le bafana then no na le South Africa 11.
11, yeah.
Again,
playing against
well,
each other,
Pola
yes.
South Africa 11 we were not voting.
Yes, yes.
Then they
They had-
you
yeah,
ever.
yeah.
So black label again, you got a similar idea. Okay, let's get the fans to vote for their players. Maybe they are complaining about the coach does not play
Yes,
the players they want and what.
So now
let's-
is
so babetsang haba kataka 2 year. Now I think because of criticism or why only those two are involved, what. Yaba, okay, let's involve the other teams. Last season by involve 2 more teams.
Yes.
They are by 4.
Yes.
Okay. Defend da on those they still vote. Defend or they want to Sundowns, they vote who they want to see the Chiefs, Rabona and all that. So this season, but okay, so it works with 4 teams. Let's
So
do
let's
it
open
with
it up.
16 teams. Now 16 teams play. We
Same
play for a
concept.
cup. Same concept. When 16 teams, no fan is voting. When they are starting.
So it becomes an official
An
cup.
official cup.
Okay.
Where the fans get involved is when there's a winner. When there's a winner, the fans, so there's 16 teams. As far as I understand, the fans will vote for players from the 15 teams. They don't vote from
From the winning
from the winning team. They will vote
and then
from
those-
players from 15 teams
Yes.
to participate against the winners.
Okay.
So that's where they tweaked it a little bit.
So this, for calling Black Label to be involved in football, was it them saying we want to be involved in football, or was it Chiefs and Pirates saying, hey guys, we are trying to create a preseason tournament, we need a sponsor, come on board?
I'm not sure which one initiated.
Yeah, because the question stems from that, in that, is it because the clubs have been complaining that maybe the 2 main teams that quote unquote brought the sponsor or the tournament, they are taking more advantage, or they have a better advantage, or whatever the case. So now they've opened it up to all 16 teams because to basically shut them up, or to say, okay, you can have a piece of the rest of the pie, so that this noise can go down and then everybody can compete.
But,
at the same level.
but in their defense, they're going to say there's no sponsor. I get there's 3 cups. Telkom couldn't sponsor this year. So they were looking for a sponsor.
So
Now
cutting
Black
was the next
Label,
best thing.
Black Label
They're
starts
already
cup pre-season.
Yeah.
I get a pre-season tournament, Black Label. Because MTN 8 is an official tournament. It's not a pre-season tournament.
So are they going to continue then? Which will be interesting to see.
Yeah,
with the
it
preseason
depends
tournament.
how many years. No, there is no pre-season tournament. You make your own tournament. You organize your own friendlies. There is no pre-season tournament anymore. Like before, there never used to be a pre-season tournament.
Yeah, well, there used to be the spectacular, which
But
we
after
used to.
spectacular, there was
There's
never a
nothing.
pre-season
Yes,
tournament.
Yes, yes. So that concept of, we know that there's at least one official preseason tournament, right, from spectacular, then it became Vodacom Challenge, then it became Cutting Black Label. But obviously, Cutting Black Label and Vodacom Challenge was certain teams, so the other teams had to then fend for themselves. So the concept of
Chiefs and the Pirates, Joe, didn't accommodate for.
Everybody,
So it
yeah.
wasn't a pre-season. It wasn't
Yeah.
a league's pre-season tournament. You understand? It wasn't Horeligi by involved. And a preseason tournament obviously cannot be involved because it's preseason.
It's not.
But now, the reason why it's like this, now according to my understanding, the reason why by involving these 16 teams, it still does not make a difference because now, when it comes to voting, you are going to see Kaizer Chiefs players there more than anybody else. Now,
because the crowd, because the fans,
because the fans are not there. Even other teams have fans, but their fans are more engaging than other fans in terms of attendance, in terms of response, even in terms of voting, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Their fans are engaged more than any other team. Forget the fact that they have more fans.
Yeah.
Now what they have done is, okay, you guys, now the way I see it from the strategic point of view, even if these 16 teams are involved, if Kaizer Chiefs wants 9 players in that team, they will still have 9 players. If Pirates want 5 players in that team, they will still have 5. Well, if Sundowns wants 5 players, they will still have 5 in that team in terms of voting. So now my problem was, out of the 15 teams, is there a cap? From Kaizer Chiefs, you can have 2.
Okay.
From all the clubs, you can have 2, because if there is 15 teams,
then it's fair.
That's 30
players.
That's 30 players. Yeah. Because now, if it's open for everybody to vote, if it's open for everybody, Amazulu, Swallows, Cheaper, their players will still not be involved. So it will be the same as this tournament. So now I think that's why they included these ones, seeing that it does not change.
Yeah, because even if it's Pirates in the final with the rest of the let's say the PSL 11, it can still be a Pirates versus 9 players of Chiefs, 5 players of Sundowns, and that's it.
You understand?
And then the others,
and then
they can come back and say no, but we said the people must vote.
You understand? So I think that's why they went for this.
That way, okay. So, from a commercial point of view, I see the Premier League. I don't know. There's this thing with the Premier League and the American market, right? So now they have this past off season. They had a preseason tournament of 6 teams. They go there. They play 2 or 3 games against each other across America, and it's a log thing and whatever. It seems like that's going to be a thing where they'll take maybe 6 different EPL teams every season or whatever the case as a preseason tournament for the league to get people excited about the league and whatnot and whatnot.
New signings.
Yes, things like that. And that, again, for us, the Spectacular also gave us that. We would be able to see new signings, we'd be able to see a new coach if there's a new coach, or the new system, or even the new kit, because, they use that tournament to also promote the new kit. So are we, as a football country, missing, again, the mark in not getting... We always complain about fans not going to stadiums, what. Isn't one of the things that encourages or entices fans to go to the stadium is having things like preseason tournaments where you get to see the new kits, the new players, the new... And not just... Yes, back in the day, it was the Spectacular was a Telkom thing because they sponsored it. They were like, okay, we're going to do it.
It was an Ibiza thing.
It started with an Ibiza thing, then Telkom came. But it wasn't a PSL thing. It wasn't let all clubs, let's create, It was always just, let's do something for charity. The fans can pick 4 teams. It just so happened that Chiefs, Pirates, and Sundowns were always the 3, then they would always be the 1. And then later on, it sort of started to change here and there. It was Chiefs, Pirates most of the time, and then the other 2 would be another other team. So, aren't we missing the mark as the football fraternity or industry? In that we say we want people at the stadiums because if people at the stadiums, the sponsors will come and sponsor the teams, that whole ripple effect. But we are not creating any hype.
Yeah, but okay, I think as a football fraternity, it's not their responsibility. Pre-season is solely responsibility the clubs. You got Audi cups. Cups don't do Audi sponsors that cup.
Yes, that's
And
why it's called the
calls
Audi Cup.
6
Yeah.
Premier League sides, 3 Italian sides,
Yeah.
2 German sides. So that is a sponsor arranging that tournament.
Yes.
Sundowns went
Those
on-
ones are there, but
Sundowns went
this one that was the Premier League summer. What do they call it? The summer slam season.
but Leon, it started now.
Yes, it's the first one now.
It's the first
so
one now.
that's what I'm asking is in that.
I don't think we are missing the mark. I think that tournament was even a flop. They played West Ham, West
It was
Ham,
Fulham, Chelsea, Brighton.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
I don't.
It wasn't
think-
the top. It wasn't the elite.
I don't think the Audi Cup for me. The Audi Cup for me because now they get giants and they pit these giants against each other.
Yeah.
You understand? Now I think still to this day, spectacular is still the best route to go in terms of pre-season. Spectacular. But spectacular, I think there were 2 cups. I stand to be corrected. I think there were 2 cups and you had the league. The only way you could get you can get playing in South Africa, you can get 5 trophies. Meaning you can get the 3 league cups and you get the league and you get the Champions League. Not many countries you are offered 5. You understand, at the beginning of the season. So this cup, I think it came in because there is no activity
During
cup pre-season. Makufe Cup. It's a Kaizer Chiefs tournament. It's organized by Makufe. You understand? So Black Label inkile spaces at Telkom because Telkom had a cup leaky during the league.
An official
So
cup,
inkile
yeah.
space they just threw the twist spectators after the final. Because now if spectators were to vote from last 16
but wouldn't that be the beauty of it, the
but it's
unpredictability?
but now it's
during the season.
It's during the season. It's going to impact on players. They coach. So what they are
So are
trying.
you saying it would disrupt the tactical preparations
Yeah.
of the
I
team?
think so.
So they would use this cup game to prepare for the next game, or to maybe play a fringe player who's just come back from injury, or
It depends which team you are in. I think the big teams. They
can use it for that.
The Pirates has. Upala know the league looks like it's already over. Now the only cup that you can play for is this one. Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs.
Damn.
It's these 2 cups that they can play for.
Yeah, it's this
understand?
100%. This 100% record. Yeah, Sundowns is.
So it also creates it for Sundowns. Upala Sundowns are playing for 6 trophies this season. It's the Super League.
Yeah.
It's the Champions League.
and it's the domestic
and then
one.
it's the 4 domestic ones. Obviously, they've lost
MTN,
1.
yeah.
So there's
They've
5
got 5.
available already for them. But for the rest, there's only 2 cups available.
Okay, so from a money point of view, I remember when the PSL, just to get into the top 8, for me to compete for MTN 8, I have to work really, really hard. So now, I need to make money for the club
During the season.
right? So there's Netbank 6 mil, Telkom 4.2, MTN 8 million, and at the time PSL is 10 million. So if I just win these 3 cups,
Make more than the league.
I make more than the league. Does that not now skew the club's
That's why they took the
ambitions?
league to 15. That's why they took the league to 15 because Pirates won the 2 cups last season.
Right.
8, and I think Netbank was 7. They increased the price when they increased.
Yeah.
So they took 8 and 7. 8 and 7 is 15.
That's 15. That's
So Chiefs and Pirates, Sundowns and Pirates won 15 last year. Sundowns obviously made more Champions League because the semi-final money is in dollars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's why this year, now the question that I have is the Super League. One of the Black Label Cup,
Yeah.
for me, as a Sundowns fan, I don't think that cup is a priority for me. But Super League, ne?
It has huge money.
You play some totally MTN8, I think 4 or 5 games or 6 games at most. You win $4 million, which is like something like 78 something million rands. Now even the league is not important anymore.
And you're winning the league anyway if you're Sundown.
But I'm saying, league you have to play 30 games. This one's, but one of the nice thing about MTN8, you have to play 4 games and you win 8 million. Meaning each game is 2 million.
2 million, yeah.
If you are dreaming of the final or winning it, so each game is 2 million. So about $4 million. Then Champions League, it's something like $1 million or 1 point something million. So if Sundowns just concentrate on Africa,
that's 100
even
million.
if you win the league for 10 seasons, you haven't made what they have made in one season. Even if the other teams can win the league, you will have made 150 million rands. Sundowns is very close to your 150. Got 2 cups in one season.
Right. So, okay. My question then is twofold, right? What is the criteria from an African perspective? Because obviously Infantino and Motsepe and all these guys have created the Super League. Is the criteria that the teams that participate are the champions of those leagues, or is it the most pedigreed clubs within the Champions League circle? What was the criteria for them to got the infrastructure? Because now the league is sponsored by the broadcaster. Surely now we can bring in the technology, right? Because it's very clear that our officiation is not up to par in South Africa, right? I mean, we can mention a lot of incidents, So that's another thing, is that couldn't we take advantage of that now that we have a broadcaster on board? Let's try this technology, bring in the technology. We've got the broadcaster with the cameras. Let's get, and it doesn't even have to be a full VAR. It can be the offside and goal line technology. That's it. The most contentious 2 things that happen in the PSL, in my view. It's either it's offside or it's not, or whether it's a goal or it's not. And because we don't have goal line technology, we always rely on the linesman. Now, what if the linesman had a bit too much to drink last night and maybe he's got pink eye this morning and you can't see, and then a club is gonna lose 3 points and get relegated because now the referee had pink eye or the linesman had pink eye. Whereas if you've got goal line technology, you just get a buzz on your phone. Hey, it's a goal. Hey, it's not a goal. Done. If it's an offside, hey, it's either it's offside or it's not. Done.
Is it not? Do you not have to pay for these things?
Yeah, you do. Yes, hence the technology. But now, isn't the advantage now that we have the broadcaster? Surely we can put more cameras. My man, we are sponsored by an international broadcaster at that. Right? Although it's South African, but it's an international broadcaster, right? So surely we take them, we take the technology companies, take the PSL. Let's do this for the better of our game. That's it.
I think you have a fair point there, but we have to wrap it up soon.
It's a money thing again, right?
I think it's money, man.
It's always money.
It's money.
So it's the same. So it's what Benson Mhlongo was saying, that we have to be average in order for the status quo to remain. We can't shine. We can't be a Springboks. We can't have a Stronger Together campaign that runs for like 3 years. you know what I mean?
But then what he was saying is that who runs the rugby in South Africa is not Southern. And who's running rugby, as you said earlier, are doing it very well. We're in the final again.
These guys have screens, my man, in their changing rooms or whatever, of us as the fans, sending them good lucks and well dones and all of this stuff.
Because they understand the psyche.
Where have you ever seen that with Bafana Bafana? We had a whole World Cup, dog. At home. My man, just that 12th man could have pushed us out of that group in the 2010 World Cup. But that's a conversation for another day. I'm just saying, man, maybe we're not a football country. Maybe we're a rugby country. And we're most likely going to win another Rugby World Cup in a week's time.
Probably.
Okay. So there's no quiz today because I'm alone.
Yeah. Just you today, so.
Black Brick residents, Black Brick members. Every Sunday we record this crazy, stupid, wonderful idea called the Spy2 Vodcast. Come through, join us, engage. Let's talk about football.
There's a spot for you right there.
There's a spot for you right here. We know you. We've seen you guys walk across the window and watch. You guys have got membership cards. Tap your card and come in. Let's go. Let's talk about football. We are here because Black Brick has allowed us to be here. So let's use this platform to converse, talk about football. Next time we'll be in Black Brick Cape Town. Another time we'll be in Black Brick Rosebank when they finish it. Another time we'll be in Umhlanga when they finish it. Or we'll be in the London one. We'll be in Mexico City, probably during the World Cup. So come through. Let's engage. Let's create a football community. We've got some really cool things coming up. Fantasy League. Let's play the Fantasy League.
Looking nice though.
Yes. Another thing. The people who win the Fantasy League, the English Premier League one and the Champions League one, bing, they'll be here with us and they'll tell us how they won it. when we give them their prizes, of course. So please join Spy2 Vodcast. Subscribe. The content is real. We've got hot takes. We've got predictions. We've got halftime segments. We've got authentic conversations. We've got guests. We've got a whole bunch of content. We've got a whole bunch of things that we're going to do here. So please support us. Come through. Come engage. Make comments on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, on TikTok. We're gonna start creating some really cool content. Let's do this for the fans, by the fans.
Lovely.
One time, two time. It's a rap like hip hop.